Welcome back. Now, Tommy Robinson, leader of the English Defence League. Now, this is a Canadian show, and most people watching, understandably, don't pay that much attention to the UK, but we do pay attention to issues of freedom and tolerance and coexistence. And anyone who hates people because of their religion is a bigot and has no place on my show or in public discourse. But I think there are some valid fears about Islamic extremism. The main victims of this, of course, are other Muslims in the Islamic heartlands. For goodness sake, look at so many countries where people simply want to be what they are, and they can't be because of a fanatical interpretation of a particular faith. Tommy was attacked by a gang of people, young people, who said this is for the mosque. Tommy, I want to ask you this question, because you said the last thing you heard was, we're going to kill you, you white pig, and the first thing they said was, this is for the mosque. If, say, a brown Muslim had been beaten up by a group of white people who said, this is for the church, and ended the attack with, we're going to kill you, you brown pig, this would be national headlines, not only in the UK, but I think internationally.
Of course. This is the two-tier system. I don't know, about a month ago there was a story in the Daily Mail, 4 Muslim girls. There was a young British couple, a man and woman, walking home, and these Muslim girls attacked them, beat them to the floor for 5 or 10 minutes, jumped all over their heads, ripped their hair out, and they were shouting, we're going to kill you, you white slag, you white slag. This is all documented by witnesses. When it went to court, the judge let these 4 Muslim girls off custody because they were not used to being drunk, because they're Muslim. Now, this is a truthful story. It sounds comical and people will laugh, but it's a fact. This happened. Now, this shows the two-tier system. As you said, imagine a Muslim couple, a woman in a hijab or a burqa with her husband walking home, are attacked by 4 white girls who are drunk on alcohol. They beat her to the floor, shouting, we'll kill you, Muslim, we'll kill you, Muslim. We all know they'll get 3-4 years in prison for a racist attack. These Somalian girls weren't even charged of a racist attack. Now, this is a two-tier system we're trying to break, but when you look at what we're up against, it's like there's a conspiracy across the whole country in order to silence any critics of Islam. Locally in Luton, since our demonstration, this is a mad story. There's 26 firebombing attacks, yeah? Now, my old house was firebombed, one of them, and they were spraying EDL. My cousin, who's the other joint leader, his van was firebombed. And what they're doing is they're attacking random houses. They attacked the Labour government's local offices, and the same yellow spray paint was used in each incident. And so they were attacking not Muslims' houses, black people's houses, white people's houses in different estates around town in order to change the opinion against the EDL. So people would be annoyed with the EDL, blowing up innocent people's cars and houses. Now, our local press, as you could imagine, our local Labour councillors, as you can imagine, all of this was blamed on the English Defence League. Now, what we know, and what we've sat down with the police, is that the police made arrests over these 26 firebombings where they were writing English Defence League and EDL no surrender. There was mosque windows smashed, EDL. They've made arrests and they've arrested Muslims. And have they gone to press with this? And there's people in jail now. There's Muslims in prison now for these 26 firebombing attacks. When they raided their houses, they said they're not getting out for a long time because of some of the other things they found. We don't know what they are, but they haven't gone to press to dispel these myths and all these rumours that it's us. I was walking around town getting blamed for all these firebomb attacks, and it's actually Muslims that are doing it. And it shows you the biased media and the police, because neither of them will come out. If this was the English Defence League doing these bombings, they'd have been all over the press, saying we've arrested these fascist arsonists, we've got them in jail. But they haven't even come out and mentioned, we said you need to come out and make a statement stating the religion of the people you've arrested for these firebomb attacks. And all they've done in the statement was made a statement saying they can categorically say it's not the English Defence League. They're still too fearful to come out and tell the truth, and that's what we see we're up against a lot of the time when we're going against the media, is their selective journalism and their unfair and biased two-tier system. When it comes to, as you said, if it was, in my case, it was a racist attack, and it was because of the mosque. So why hasn't my local media reported that? They didn't report it. Whereas if it was the other way round, they'd be throwing it. It'd be headlines of all the news.
It's not confined or unique to the United Kingdom. We know it happens in Europe, but I can talk about North America with some authority. We had this minister down in the United States who wanted to burn the Coren. Now, personally, I think he had a right to do that, but probably an obligation not to. I wouldn't have done such a thing. But it was a very small incident in a very small church, which the President of the US, the most powerful man in the world, made into an international issue. Now, simultaneously, we have repeated attacks, particularly in parts of Michigan. We had a man who embraced radical Islam who murdered people on an army base, and people were at pains to mention anything other than his religious affiliation. But why is that? In the UK, why is it a country with its history of standing up to fascism and authoritarian regimes, why are people frightened, not of attacking Muslims, but of saying that Islamic radicalism is a threat to minorities, gay people, Jewish people, Christians, Muslims who want to be secular? Why can't they say that?
They've succeeded over the last 20 years in this, this fear factor of having everyone walking on eggshells. Anyone who spoke out at all against the status quo was beaten down with this racist tag. And they've succeeded. And what they've done is that even half of my best friends are fearful. You can't say that. Yes, I can say that. And I will say that. And I'm standing up for what's right. So that's why I'm saying it. And we just hope that us doing it, and us by not faltering and not being intimidated and fearful, that we give inspiration to other people, and more people will feel they can stand up. And when certain medias or certain people see the sway in the public opinion which is happening now, the swing from left to right which they can't stop, people are now coming out and speaking. 2 years ago, no one would dare mention the word Islam. Now people are running around singing the fact that they're infidels. We've broke that taboo. We're breaking that taboo. People will be standing up. What you're going to see in 2012 is more and more people standing up and demanding the truth about Islamic extremism, and demanding that the two-tier system is broke forever, because you can be victims once. Say, like, for example, if you go out in our local town centre, if I was just a young Christian lad and I wasn't Tommy Robinson, and I was having an altercation with Muslims in town, when the police turn up, they'll automatically jump on me. So even if I've been getting beaten up by those Muslims, I'll be a victim of that crime. Then the police will turn up and I'll be a victim of that, because they automatically, and anyone living in an area like Luton knows what I'm talking about. There's a two-tier system. They're petrified of them. It's kid clubs for their community, iron fists for ours, and automatically they always turn to us as the easy victims.
Okay.
And listen, as I said, yeah.
I appreciate your time, Tommy. For those people watching now, and as I say, I know what will happen. Obviously, a big audience in Canada. It'll then go on the internet and blogs and YouTube and go viral. For those people who don't like what Tommy says, it's called freedom of speech. And if you're opposed to freedom of speech, well, who is the fascist? Who is the fascist then? Tommy, I'm glad you survived this. Thank you for your time. Take care.
Thank you. God bless.